Hi, everyone. It's Mary Jane Copps, the phone lady. And this is the July issue of Communication Tips. This one is for sales, and it's based on information that we received when we did our survey back in March of CEOs and senior VPs in terms of phone and video communication trends. In this issue, what I'm talking about is following up to reach new leads. In the May issue, I focused on following up to reach prospects you've already presented to or you've already spoken to, either on the phone or a demo or a Zoom call or a face to face meeting. But here, the focus is really about the brand new leads you have in front of you and creating a process for following up with those leads. What is your process that you can stick with, that you can believe in and know that it's working without getting caught up in a sort of a common trap for salespeople, which is they can dig in and get really stubborn about, I'm going to reach this lead, and they keep working with the same set of leads every week or day after day. And they're not allowing themselves to bring in new leads into their system so that they can reach more potential customers. So, what exactly is your process? In this video, I'm going to share with you my process. It's changed a lot over the years, but the foundation of it has always stayed the same. When we follow up consistently with a brand new lead, we are saying something. And it's important that you say that in more than one way, which we'll get to in a second. But when we follow up consistently to someone we haven't reached yet, we're still sending really strong and important messages, which are you believe in your product and service. You also believe that this product or service is of value to them, or you wouldn't be putting this effort into reaching them. By having a consistent process, you're also letting them know through your actions that you're organized, you're reliable, and you're dependable. And that you're respectful of their time. In other words, it's not up to them necessarily to call you back right away. You're going to remain persistent. And also that you're diligent. And all of these things that we display in our follow-up process give them an indication of who we are to work with as a company or an individual. So, several stories that I'll share, two of. One being someone who's been trying to reach me for a very long time. They do call me, but they never leave a message. So I know from that it's not about me. They don't have any belief that what they are calling me about is of value to me, but they know it's of value to them. So they just keep calling, not leaving a message, not leaving a message, not leaving a message. I'm never going to answer their call, even though I'm the phone lady. The other is a set of emails that came in. They attracted my attention, and I responded and got a phone call. But in that conversation, nothing was about me as the potential customer, right? Nothing was about me. They spoke about their product, et cetera, et cetera. I was looking for something similar to what they were proposing, but they didn't ask me any questions. It wasn't about me. So I said, thanks, but no thanks. Yet they continued to call again, never going to my website, never doing any research about me. So your follow-up process, even with a brand new lead, even when your email may be successful, is to make sure that your actions relate to this is about you. This is the value to you. The other is working with a Canada-wide franchise. And when I reach this part about follow up, lights go on because they haven't been doing that new lead follow up in a consistent way. And when they started doing it, big, amazing things started to happen to their bottom line. So it has to be a consistent process. And I'm going to walk you through mine as a sample. So you can use it as a template depending on whether you're doing business to consumer, B2C, or business to business, B2B. Some of these things will apply. I tend to have my favorite channels, which are phone, email, and LinkedIn. Your channels might include different social media, might include texting, etc. That's fine. Use this as a template to come up with your follow-up process. We want to know that no matter who we're reaching out to, we can't know exactly what they're checking or when they're checking it. If you're doing B2C, latest statistics indicate that consumers have more than one email address. They tend to look at their inbox in the morning. They tend to reply to anything at the end of their day on their computer. So things can easily get lost in that transition from opening something on your phone to then going to your inbox on your computer. So you want to know those things about email and consumers. Business to business, usually there's just one email address, but things do get lost. And there's a challenge to balance checking email with checking inter-office chat applications for individuals that are working in a hybrid situation. So again, what I'm going to show you is what the channels that I use that you can then adapt to your own process. So I always leave an inspiring voicemail message, and I'm going to give you the scripting for that. And then I immediately send an email message. And the subject line of that is my voicemail message earlier today. I've chosen that voicemail message or that subject line because it tends to get through spam filters. Spam filters view it as an ongoing conversation. So your email has a better chance of getting to someone who's never received an email from you before. And then in my case, because it's B2B, I send a LinkedIn invitation with a note saying, looking forward to speaking with you soon. It would be great to also be connected here on LinkedIn. Now, why do I choose to do that on LinkedIn? Well, I'm sharing with you the email profile of someone I work with all the time, Linda Daly, but I'm using it, if you just look at the red arrow section, to show you that if I was approaching Linda as a potential new customer, I could look at her profile and see that we have 825 people in common. So when she looks at my invitation, that's what she's going to see. And that immediately starts building that trust and relationship if we have that many people in common. So if you're selling B2B, make sure you do that outreach on LinkedIn because it is building the trust and relationships that you want in terms of your sales career. When you're new, it's not going to look like this, 825 people, but get started building that base of connections so that every time you reach out to a new lead, you can connect with them on LinkedIn and they can see that you know other people in the industry that they also know. That's extremely valuable. Now, part of my process is definitely leaving messages. So my rules, if you will, for leaving messages are to always leave one. Don't hang up. Everybody's got call display, so they know that you called, just like that bank that is chasing me. But the hang up means they're either a telemarketer or, it's not about you. It's about the company and the money they want to make. It's not rude if somebody doesn't call you back. It used to be many, many, many years ago when we worked at desks and the phone was on the desk. It was always something that we did was we returned all our calls before the end of the day, but that's a long time ago. So when someone doesn't call us back today, it doesn't mean anything other than they're completely overwhelmed and it's not personal and it does not mean no. Besides which, we're building our business. And so it's 100% our responsibility to reach these new leads. It's not their responsibility to return our call. But when we leave that message, what we want to do is make sure that we're not creating phone tag, that we're providing information on when we're available, and we're already going to commit to the follow-up. So what does this sound like? Well, I'm going to keep picking on Linda. Hi, Linda. This is Mary Jane calling from the phone lady. I have a quick question for you. I'm available today until 3 p.m. and you can reach me at, leave your number twice. If we don't connect by 3 p.m., that's fine. I'll follow up with you again, whatever you want to say here, tomorrow, Friday, next week, early next week. I'm also going to take the liberty of sending you an email in case that's easier for you. So look for me in your inbox. And here's the voicemail message. Hi, Linda. This is Mary Jane from the phone lady. I hope all is well in your world. I have trouble sending an email without a small social comment. I do have a quick question for you. You can reach me at this number till 3 p.m. today, or use this link to view my calendar and book a time for a quick conversation that works with your busy schedule. I'll also follow up with you again. Put whatever you want in there. So in this first message, the idea of the quick question interacts with Linda's curiosity, which is a very powerful motivator. So most of my clients see a 25 to 35% increase in return calls because of that. By saying that I'm available until a certain time, if Linda picks up this message at 3:30, what she experiences is my respect for her time. She doesn't have to call me back. I'm not giving her a task to do that isn't going to have a result. Not only that, I'm saying that if we don't connect by 3 p.m., I'm going to follow up again. Well, what that says is I'm not a telemarketer. That says that my message has some value. And it means that Linda doesn't even have to make a note about my message. She can look out for my next phone call. So all of these things work together in that way. Same with the email. What we're doing with the email is we're including a link to our calendar because today the majority of people want their conversations scheduled as meetings. So we're allowing them to view our calendar and book a time for a 15-minute call that works best for them. And make sure that when you say that, you're phrasing it so it's about them. I sometimes get emails where people will say, here's a link to my calendar because I'm really busy this week so you can see when I'm available. Turn that around and say, book a time for a quick conversation that works best with your busy schedule. Make it about your lead, not about you. And this message is the same as the voicemail message, is the same as the first voicemail message I presented. But let's say you're going to sit down and you're going to make calls for half an hour or an hour. Then that's possible this new lead you just left a message for will call back and get your voicemail. And that can be disconcerting. So you can add a sentence that says, I am frequently on the phone. So if you do reach my voicemail, know that I will call you right back. And that will help them promote them to leave a voicemail for you. Persistence is a huge part of this. You want to have in your process the ability to show up more than once, more than twice, etc. But at the same time, you need to have a boundary because, as we mentioned at the beginning, you don't want to get into that place where you're being stubborn about a group of new leads and you're not looking at the other new leads that are coming into you. So you want to be persistent, but you want to have a cutoff or a boundary that you work with. In my case, it's 5. So when I want to reach Linda, I'm going to do that email or that phone message email combination 5 times over 2.5 weeks. So I'm going to reach out to Linda on a Monday and a Thursday, and then the next week, a Tuesday and a Friday. But on the Wednesday, because I want to get to these other new leads, I'm going to leave her this message. And it's, "Hi, Linda. This is Mary Jane calling from the phone lady. Sorry I've missed you. I do have one quick question for you and will welcome your call whenever it's most convenient for you. You can reach me at this number. Thanks." And I'm going to take this lead and I'm going to move it ahead. Up to you. A month, 3 weeks, 6 weeks, 2 months, whatever you want to do. It's not a dead lead by any means, but you need to free yourself up to work with your other leads that are coming in. The reason that I do it this way is in my career, I have left many, many messages for people on maternity leave because nobody changed their voicemail, or many, many messages for people traveling in Asia for 6 weeks, or in the hospital, or having a family member in the hospital. So I developed this, okay, I'm going to create a boundary and take the lead and move it ahead a certain amount of time and come back to it. Okay, hope this is helpful. If you've got questions or comments, feedback about these videos, please don't hesitate to get in touch. Feel free to share this newsletter with colleagues if they can benefit from the information. And enjoy your week. Enjoy the rest of July and early August. Take care.